Okay, I don't have my trusty video person here today, so doing off of a tripod. Go ahead and sit, Bella. Bella, come here, sit. Honor, sit. Well, they're amped up to train, so I figured I wouldn't wait all the way to Thursday next week because some of you probably already passed the back pile and you want to crispen up the casting and are ready to start casting. So before I start doing all the back casting drills, I do that same drill with the rope attached for the bumper shopping on the overs. So I'm not going to put a rope on Brody today because he did the rope yesterday, and you know, when you regress, if you know, once the dog's past that stage and then you go backwards and you like re-put that on them, sometimes you kind of demotivate them because you take that responsibility off their shoulders. Particularly with him, he's the kind of dog that likes, like a toddler's like, look, I can do it myself, you know, kind of thing. So the more responsibility you put on his shoulders, the better he does. He's a dog that like goes through a holding blind better without a leash off, you know, versus Belly. You don't want to go through a holding blind with a leash off, that's dog. So they're just different. So I'm gonna do the drill, but basically you would have a lead on still in this drill, and if they bumper shop, you're pulling them back again on that, and you're doing the same thing as you're identifying the pile, right? You sit them on their name because it's a casted mark, and you might want to just do one pile at first before you do a second pile. But usually you can do this in one evening, and then so it's, you know, on their name, and then it's fetch, and then it's, instead of back, it's over. And the reason I teach this before I do the other casting is because, again, I'm teaching them to go on the word over. It's different than back. And so I want them to not bumper shop on over. So it's a new word command. So I bring it in close, I bring it in tight, simplify it, put them on lead, and do that. So he did that a long time ago. So we're gonna have him do the over drill first here, and we're gonna have him do the back casting drill, and then we'll probably have Bella show us a wagon wheel, okay? So let's go ahead and start with him. And remember, what you would do is you'd identify the pile, and I'll identify the pile and set them on the name, and then you would fetch and point, and then you would start saying over, or fetch, get them going, and then say over. So that they start to identify that over means that. And overs, I think people do them too casually, and I've made that mistake in the past. So over needs to be a 90. So you should hopefully never use an over when you're running a blind, because if you use a over, you waited too long to whistle, right? Or they didn't take your cast correctly on an angle back to get back online. So really an over is like, it's your chance to get out of a problem. And usually I'll do a back, and if the dog doesn't get online fast enough, back in the window, and then I do another angle back, and that dog does not take the right direction on that, the next one has to be an over, because, you know, the judge that I run under anyway, the third cast refusal can be a drop. So, you know, my buddy Rod would always tell me, go over to the next series instead of back to the car. He said, if you're on your third whistle, you're going over to the next series instead of back to the car. So anyway, we'll go ahead and do this real quick, and I'll identify the pile just for the sake of doing it, so you see how that looks. Sit, Bella. You're at honor. Honor. The other thing is on this is I don't use collar pressure in this drill at all. I want high intensity. Sit. So I'm going to identify past the pile again, like our last drill. Brody. So he should run through the pile, get it. If they don't, no big deal. Heel. Good. Here, sit. Sit. I can drop that from the pile now. And you might have to identify the pile when it's brand new with the dog a second time. And that's okay if they don't go. If you get a refusal, identify the pile again. This time, throw the bumper in the pile. So, over. Good. Here. Heel. Sit. Heel. Sit. Now, some hesitate. He's waiting for me to blow the whistle and tell him to pick it up. But obviously, you don't do that when you're starting. So it's fine. The other thing is you don't want a pattern. So like once you move to 2 piles, you don't want to go left, then right, and have the dog anticipating. You're not trying to trick the dog. You don't want the dog tricked like, oh, which pile are we going to? Like people that pretend like they're throwing a ball for a dog and then they don't throw it and then, haha, I still have the ball, right? I never do that, but it's not that. So I'm not trying to trick the dog. What I'm trying to do is not have the dog anticipate what direction it's going to go so that it checks in with me. I had a dog get so good blind, they started going autopilot on me, and it was like, all they wanted me to say is back, and I got it. You know, they didn't look to me for control. So we do want that kind of confidence, but we still want to keep the control. So I might go to that pile once I have three times in a row, and then I'll make the dog wait, focus on me, hold my right hand out, let it think, and then cast right. So I'm not trying to trick it, but I want it randomized. I don't want a pattern. Over. Good. Here. Fetch. Fetch. Good. Sit. Now, once the dog's going at it, you can re-identify that pile, okay? But then, no, sit, look. So he went early. So I'm just here, come here, sit. They're not used to me talking and narrating, so I'll let them go. Sit. Sit. Over. No. So that's perfect, because that's a correction. No, here. Sit. That's what we want. So that's no electricity. It's just a no. Over. No. Good. Here. Heel. Sit. So I'm going to identify the pile again with that bumper. I'm going to toss it over there. Over. No. Here. He's convinced. I don't really want him to do that. Over. Good. Good. Here. Heel. Good. Sit. Over. Over. So we're having a problem with the 90 on the right. Here. Sit. So I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to back up, make it simpler. Brody. No. Good. Here. And heel. Sit. Don't get frustrated. Right. Over. No. Over. Good. Good. Heel. Sit. Good. Over. Good. Here. Sit. So this is perfect because he's not doing the pile work, right? He's used to, like, we've been there, so I'm not going back there again. Hey. Over. Good. Heel. Sit. Good. Sit. But this is good because if he's not going to take a hard 90, then I got a hole and I got to work on it. Here. Sit. Over. Good. Heel. He needs to know, sit, that over is always a high 90. Even if it's a boring same pile, it's always a 90. It's never an angle back. Over never means go back. Back always means go back, and then over always needs to be a 90. Over. Good. Good. Here. Sit. So we've had repeatable success. So I'm going to take that out of the situation, and I'm going to send him the other way. I'll give him time to focus and think about it. Over. Good. Heel. Sit. Now I'm going to ping pong him and go right back to the right side again that he was struggling with. Love think. Over. Good. Good. Sit. Sit. Now, when they get to that point, not just over over not only just need to be a 90, it needs to be a 90 until I tell you to stop. So you can increase it a little bit, right? Sit. Over. And I like to increase my voice too, so they know I'm pushing further. Here. Sit. Good. Sit. Now it's important to have that in the tool bag. Sit. You really don't want to be in and over when you're in a blind, but you don't want to be chicken to use it if you've already whistled twice. Over. Good. Here. Heel. Sit. Really good. Now, just like last night, you can pick back up the enthusiasm. Up, up. Brody. I throw a mark. Bring him back in. Heel. Here. Sit. Good. Sit. Over. Good. Here. Sit. So obviously you would do that with you do that with the rope on it first, just like the back pile doing it, and you just stand here, you walk with the dog over, pull him back in, walk, pull him back in, and you have that rope in the casting arm. They see the rope going that way, see your arm going that way, that kind of deal. I like to finish it up getting out of an over, which is actually the start of a wagon wheel for our next drill. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, right? Because I want the dog to also know it's always about where I'm pointing him. So Brody, heel, sit, and then you can just run it as a miniature back pile, right? And this is cool because back pile, you establish it, you have it out there. All right, this is a step towards a pattern blind, right? They've been doing the over, they've been to those geographical spots, they know where the piles are, but it is a different line, and they're sitting from your side instead of getting cast to it, right? So I bring them over, right? Now I'm running kind of a pattern blind. It's a good initial feel to a pile. So, dead bird, back. And I'm going to reinstitute my control whistle now, heel, because the over drill's done. Here, sit. These are some hard bumpers. I don't like these bumpers. Sit. Make the dog chew. Dead bird. Back. Good. Heel. Fetch. Fetch. What's wrong with that thing? Sit. Got some poop on it. All right. The other thing on this is once you get the dog going and you start running longer distances, it's not a bad idea. And this is just user's choice, right? Or handler's choice how you want to run your dog. But I like to start saying anything at this distance easy. My rule of thumb is if I can throw a bumper, if it's like a hand throw bumper distance, then I'm going to tell the dog easy. Then eventually you'll see them on easy, they launch at a different speed because they start using their nose sooner. They're not like, I got to get out there 100 yards first on the mark. So easy helps them know, just like when it's close in, you don't have to yell. I'm yelling kind of for the camera so you can hear on the camera, but you don't have to yell as much. You kind of push them with your voice. You tell the dog by saying their name really loud on a mark, go far. You quieter when it's closer, and you start to help your dog all you can as a handler, giving them a defined range. And pretty soon the dog knows easy is a hand throw distance. And it helps them, on blinds, tell them easy if it's a short blind, tell them easy if it's a close in walk up mark, whatever. It all starts to translate. So come here, heel, 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 sit, easy, dead bird, back. Good. Heel, sit. Good. 2 more. Heel. Now I like to count to anything under 3. Even on marks, I tell the dog in the holding blind, you got 3 birds if it's a triple. You got 2 birds if it's a triple. I tell them that it's a walk-up. I tell them if there's going to be a bulldog, or the extra bird that they launch. I tell them all those things. I believe the dogs pick it up and they know, oh, I'm going to go out there. They're going to launch 3 birds. I tell this one, I say, hey, 3 birds, and it's a double blind. And then she knows I'm going to run 2 dead birds after I run 3 marks. And give them as much heads up as you can. There's nothing in the rules that says you can't. Easy, dead bird, back. Good, here. Heel, sit. 1 more, 1 bird, dead, easy, back. Good. Heel. You're too fast at this distance for me to use the whistle here. Hard nubby bumpers. Not a fan. All right, sit, sit. So that's that. I'm gonna stop there, and then I'll restart the video, a second video, where we're taking that over concept with this concept we just did, and we're turning it into our heel and here. And we can start to make a click grid for lining up our dog on the blinds. And I think that's really important in my experience. And I have to go back to wagon wheel often, especially during hunting season, and correct the lining. So anyway, we'll stop there. I just wanted to make a video early because some of you probably, it's more important to start cleaning up the handling than it is to work on that other stuff, because you already got the back pile down. So just in case you're already there, you have something else to go ahead and go on and work on. All right.